Ring the bells, Joseph, because the giant has been defeated.
Ding, 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 ding.
Welcome to another episode of the Jay Podcast. I'm one of those Jays, Jordan, and this is the other Jay here with me as always.
Hello, I'm Joseph.
A beardless one as of now. It's the first time I've seen the man's face in about...
It's been like a year and a
At
half
least,
since
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had a clean-shaven face.
So, might be a little bit shocking. I'll put like a... I think YouTube has like some viewer discretion is advised. Like you have to sign in before you watch this one because of his face.
The
Not because
stuff-
it's ugly, but because it might be shocking to viewers.
The stuff that helps like get your video automatically demonetized. That stuff. Like,
You need to
like-
regrow the beard so we can start making money again. I mean, we
like
were before,
yes,
but
yes,
yeah.
we totally make money.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Anyway,
What is making money?
Avatar. Wait, not anymore. That was just completely like
We
that
were
was,
going for it, and it
That
just
was not even on purpose. I actually had a like my brain just crapped itself.
It's okay.
Avengers Endgame just broke the box office record. Everybody, woo! There's 6 different syncs that we could do because we didn't sync.
They're very evenly timed too.
Yeah,
Good-
they
good
are.
claps, good rhythmical claps.
3, 2, 1. Anyway, there we go. That's gonna all be in there. That's great.
Yeah, of course.
We
We're gonna get champion here. I feel.
yeah, we are gonna. My dog might make a visit. So if the
That's
mic
good.
if the mic starts like shaking back and forth, it's his tail.
That's good. That's a
coming
good
to-
thing.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
So yeah, Avengers finally broke the box office record.
Yeah.
We had a feeling it would get there, but it was, hey buddy, how you
There we go.
doing?
Shout
There
out.
he is.
Come on.
We thought it would get there, but it was looking for a while like it wasn't going to.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it barely eked it out.
Yeah, it is. It's probably, and it's still in theaters for maybe a week, 2. I told you what I just told you. Bye, buddy. Come back whenever. What did I just tell you? Literally, I said that 2
that
minutes
was
ago,
perfect.
30
It was-
seconds ago, or something like that, and it
beautiful.
started. Yeah. No, it finally did it, and I think by the end it'll get to a little over 2.8 billion and some change.
Yeah.
I think it's what it's projected. I think the whole countdown to 3 billion
It's
thing.
been like crawling slowly, doing their re-release that everybody didn't like because the end credit scene was apparently lame. I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't wait for it. I went to see it again with Dad the other day because he hadn't
Nice.
seen it. At the very charming little Howell Theater in downtown Smithfield. Amazing place.
Oh, nice.
You should probably go.
I
The
am-
bathroom door is like half the size of this panel right here. Like it is. It was built in 1935.
Oh wow.
So back when this was like a Nickelodeon, right?
Okay.
First, like, for those of you who don't know, Nickelodeon is. I'm not referring to the cartoon company. Nickelodeon was a term for theaters back in the day where you only had to pay a nickel.
Yeah.
And they were called Nickelodeons. So there's a little bit of film history for you.
It's still like that now.
Except you have to pay more
No.
nickels than usual. It's Nickels loading.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Loaded with nickels.
Mini nickels, yeah. This theater actually is pretty cheap. The tickets were only $4. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
which is a bottle of water at any Regal. I love Regal, but holy cow,
Yeah, it's true.
that's the only reason it broke the box office record right there is because it sold out Regals. But shout out to Howell Theater, definitely. If you were in our area, which is the Clayton, Smithfield, Garner, Raleigh area, go check out the Howell Theater in downtown Smithfield. There's only actually 4 theaters in the theater, 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. But best popcorn ever.
You're selling me. That's for
Dude,
sure.
go see yourself some movies. And
We're gonna
usually-
have to do it together. We'll
we
have
are
to-
we are gonna have to.
There you go.
But yeah, so Avengers was there just because it's been out for a long time. So we went to see it again, enjoyed it just as much, enjoyed that Captain America fight just as much. But, and ironically, we're talking about this after we did the Avatar podcast,
Yes.
talking about how it's kind of sad that that's Avatar's legacy now is the one to beat. But
But now it's officially happened.
it has officially happened.
And
There's
now
a new box
Avatar
office
has
king.
nowhere to go but up.
I know,
because
right?
There's whole other
I was gonna say they've got
things.
4 other movies to beat Endgame with, so we'll see how that
it's
goes.
gonna happen, y'all.
Yeah. That wasn't the only big Marvel news of
No,
this week, was it,
there's
Joseph?
all the Marvel things we're gonna talk about. We had SDCC, I believe, got a ton of slating announcements. Um, Everything from I'm gonna use my cheat sheet here. Falcon Winter Soldier TV series,
series,
the
yeah.
Loki TV series got a slate. Black Widow got its slate. Some other stuff.
Black Widow is a movie.
My brain's wanting to not remember. That's strange.
The Black Widow is a movie. But I think the TV shows
Yeah, here you
are in the no, it's all good. You're good. The TV shows, I believe, are the Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
go. Loki,
Loki,
for sure.
Hawkeye, WandaVision,
WandaVision.
What If, and I think that's it for the TV shows. And
I think is Eternals a TV show?
Eternals is a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed
The
that.
movies are Eternals, Black Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and Shang-Chi, the sequel to Milan. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. No, there's a lot of things I'm interested in. I'm gonna save kind of the biggest one for last, in my opinion. I'm very interested in, just on title alone, Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, that's
Title is
interesting.
very, like, bringing in multiverse is the next step when you've hit a universe. It's the multiverse allows you to play with your characters.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm very curious how much of a multiverse it's pulling in. Admittedly, and this is to my own chagrin, I have not seen Far From Home yet. And I know Mysterio.
I have not either.
is-
Mysterio is. There's a lot of talk of
The thing-
the multiverse.
The
in
thing
there.
is, I know there's a lot of talk of multiverse, but I also know that Mysterio is just a big fraud. So, like, I don't know how much of that's real.
Yeah.
So that's my own fault. We should go once it is
Hey,
come
when it's
to
in the
Howl
Howell Theater, man,
We'll
let's
have
go.
to go see
Let's
it
go do
together.
it, man.
That's
That'd be great.
set right now.
Yeah.
Bam.
You saw it first, folks.
Well, we saw it like last. Apparently. We're gonna we see it last.
We do see it last. Yeah, true. Sorry.
But yeah, so that's very interesting to me, especially considering Doctor Strange is very not fake. Whatever is happening here, Shang-Chi is also interesting because that's, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that with the real Mandarin?
I believe so. I'm not in touch with
That's
that
fair.
side of Marvel things like that. But I mean, Mandarin and Shang-Chi, very Chinese, so probably okay. Just
Very
a lot
Chinese,
more
it's
Chinese than
fair.
Guy Pearce is.
Yes.
So that's gonna be interesting, and I kind of like announcements like this, to where everything else I know about, the things I don't know much about are the Eternals and Shang-Chi, and those are probably the ones I'm most interested in. And don't get me wrong, excited for Thor: Love and Thunder, even though that is a very hallmark title. I feel like, it's
I
like
will say,
Frozen in Love, Love and Thunder.
I kind of saved that one last because I know, like, Ragnarok was right up my alley.
Yeah.
It was fun. Taiki Waititi is so my kind of humor, my kind of all that.
Hey man,
Yeah, Eamon. It's
Eamon. Quogs, Balrog.
rooks and a little revolution.
Have nothing to be afraid of unless you are a pair of scissors.
That's right. And got some pamphlets for you. If you can cut them for me if you want to cut them as a pair of scissors that you are. And but
I love him so much, man. Oh my goodness.
But yes.
Sorry,
I
I
love
didn't-
Taiki.
Yeah.
And I will never say no to Natalie Portman being in anything. So it's fun to see she's back. I'm very interested in how they pull off that. My only question, and this is due to how Marvel has been,
I'm trying to move the mic closer to you because you're up on it a little bit. I'm trying to make sure.
Yes, thank you.
Audio people.
Um,
There he is.
yes,
You can see it on the waveform. It's a little tiny ding ding dings.
But yeah, I am very. The one thing I'm hesitant on is that Marvel has been very. How do you put it? Like their method of representation has been. It's almost storytelling wise hasn't made sense in sections. They've tried hard enough. Like in both Avengers, they've had, which I don't have a problem with. But it just, you could feel it. It stood out as like, hey, we're doing our representation time. They had like all female fight scene, even when the pairings didn't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
or even beyond that, it was more of like it just kind of came. The word for it's like it stood out, but not in a, hey, this is great, we've got this going on, but more in the, hey, we've got to fulfill our requirements here, and we've got our check on female representation. And so, like, that's the only thing I'm worried about. But honestly, with Taiki at the helm, I'm not really worried about it.
I think everyone was so impressed with Ragnarok, me included, and you included as well.
Mhm.
Ragnarok is Thor went from being one of my least favorite Marvel characters to in Ragnarok being probably one of my favorite. And it's just because of the development that he went through was more character development that he had gone through in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe at that point. But
and I think it might not, and it's also like he had character development, but he still felt throughout his development he remained
the Thor we've known.
Gimmick, like he had kind of the Thor gimmick.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like Ragnarok kind of expanded himself beyond the gimmick part.
It did. Again, he turned into one of my favorite characters, and Ragnarok being seriously one of my favorite Marvel movies to date, for sure. So I didn't.
And that's something. Well, no, that's something is that I'm also excited. The title already has me excited.
Really?
Because, or the title card, I should say, the picture. Like what do you call it? Like the way it actually looks, the font. It looks like the Thundercats logo or something like that.
It does look
like
very
that 80s like Saturday morning cartoon.
Well,
like,
it looks very. What I thought of it is it looks very like Castlevania.
Yeah, it's got like this super
like a video game almost vibe to it.
It has this retro vibe to
Yeah.
it that I'm very much liking already, especially knowing who's in charge of it. So I'm definitely excited for all the things.
Well, Ragnarok was the same way. Sorry to interrupt, but Ragnarok was the same way. 90% of the music is like synth in Ragnarok, so it's like it's just it's a paradise of color and fun and just exploration. You know, really making the movie unique. So I didn't mean to bring that one up because I only wanted to talk about that one last, but I think we can say we're both excited.
Yeah,
about that one.
Something else that kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, maybe. That I think I'm more like low-key excited about, that I think could turn out really solid, the Hawkeye series. I think if he had like having a personal show dedicated to him, could turn out really well. Because I mean, one, Renner is just a fantastic actor. Two, we got to finally see, Endgame showed us a Hawkeye that we could see. Like, it gave us a hint of what we could see if we were to look at Hawkeye in a more normal environment.
I loved Endgame Hawkeye.
Right.
He was one of my favorite parts of Endgame.
And he has a different name, like Ronin or whatever, technically, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but like him, and so seeing maybe a prequel of his work, as more of an operative, and less trying to keep up with heroes.
Yeah.
I think would be fantastic, and I think we could see a lot of different fun things and maybe get some cameos. You know, we know Widow and him have a lot of history
maybe
together.
See something about Budapest.
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
True. My House in Budapest.
The cool thing about these shows is that the actual actors are going to be in them.
Yeah, and that would be so bad.
Well, like, if they were recast, if it wasn't actual actors.
Renner,
what I was thinking though was these were going to be like maybe like some animated series. I didn't know what to think, but these were announced.
I know like What If is supposed to be. I think.
Well,
but that's
maybe.
Different.
Well, What If is about what if Peggy Carter got the serum instead of Steve Rogers.
Right.
So that's
It's a whole different thing.
I'm not really like too ecstatic
it's,
about
I mean,
that
it's a
one,
multiverse thing. It's just, you know, what if this happened? Which I'm all about. I will say, from a conceptual standpoint, I'm all for things like What If getting greenlit, and I'm all for them getting greenlit with casting, with live action, with like, because we're hitting the point to me with Marvel that I think, especially now that this first phase has some retiring people, I think a wonderful way, if we still wanted to have another Iron Man come in or anything, if we still wanted to give RDJ a little love, having just saying, hey, this is an alternate universe, we just did this one for fun, I think people would love that. I know I would love that. It doesn't have to be as high budget as the other ones.
Why not though?
But yeah, it's like
What if and why not? Why not just do
exactly.
that? Yeah.
Like it's hit the point where we have this full universe, the full cast of characters, and I think a lot of people would love to see these, alternate ideas that the people. I think honestly, and this honestly is a huge part of it. I think Thor showed this because we had Thor, and then he went through this big development. And for some people I know, think that it went too far. I'm not in that camp.
Nowhere near that camp.
But I know some people preferred him more as a coming to royalty kind of vibes and all that.
I've learned to love the Thor of Endgame and the direction that went, because when you think about it, it is Thor. He's been chasing the throne or outrunning the throne, and like you said at the end of Endgame, it's the first time in his life he doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah, so I'm very curious how things go forward. But that being, what I'm saying is that I think that showed people are open to new developments with these characters, but not all of them, their arcs would necessarily necessitate a development like that. And so having maybe it would just be crazy, I think, and amazing if we had a live action, what if Captain America, what if Steve Rogers was Tony Stark and Tony Stark was Steve Rogers, or something crazy, like a little, just like a romp of different.
Or if like Howard Stark was Iron Man first and then passed the torch to Tony or something like that.
Right, like, all these ideas that maybe they're a little crazy, or maybe they don't fit into a canon.
But they have the freedom to do that, and they have the opportunity and the ability.
They have the freedom and the capital to do so. Absolutely. As Disney, they can throw their money at whatever they want, and it'll make money.
Yeah, if you forget eventually. Disney, just Marvel. Marvel alone has made such a name and a universe for itself that it just kind of speaks volumes to them, or it speaks volumes about them, that all of this is coming out, all of this is being released when we thought Endgame was done. Endgame was just the start of this whole thing, which is fantastic. And I'm really again, kind of sad. I won't see any of these series that are coming out because I am not about to pay for the Disney Plus streaming service.
You are actually one of the few people that are saying that, because there's a lot of things people are very excited to pay for. That are very happily going to pay for it. It
can wait. I'll get to it at some point in 20 years when it lands on Amazon Prime. There you go. I'll just do that. But anyway, I'm definitely excited about the TV series. I think they'll do well just because of the characters. The fact that, the one I probably will say that I'm most excited about is the Winter Soldier, or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Interesting. I know personally, I'm just ready for anything with Loki, so I know that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Maybe that'll follow his universe that he goes through when he takes the Tesseract in Endgame. Did you remember? Maybe. But again, that's the thing. They can do that.
I do think I heard it confirmed it was a prequel series, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
That makes sense though. But again, they have so much freedom, they have so many options, and it'll be cool to see what they have.
The producers are just being like Loki and just throwing stuff at you because they can.
They probably are. I mean,
really,
you never know.
Really, it's set, and it's not even Hiddleston. It's it's She-Loki with She-Thor.
Shloki, yeah. Lokila.
Lokila. That's a beautiful name, actually.
Wow.
That's a really nice
Just found
name.
the name of my daughter and yours. Not our daughter, obviously, but
oh man,
you now have
Lokila and Lokila. One's Lokila and one's Lokila.
Oh my gosh.
The accents are very important.
Lokila sounds like either a body part or a medication for a body part.
like an arachnid of some
Ask
sort.
your doctor for a Lokila.
It's like a name of like one of those fantasy arachnids, like Shelob and Lokila.
Ungoliant, Shelob, and Lokilia. Ungoliant is the mother of Sheila. Yes. Oh no, I don't need to. I'm stopping myself now because I could talk about Middle Earth lore for the next 90 minutes. So I'm just stopping myself there.
Stop there.
Because any viewer that I could feel people going to sleep at that moment when I mentioned.
I mean, to
started
be
mentioning
fair,
that
Marvel's
stuff.
already taken enough actors from Middle Earth. They might as well take the lore too.
True.
And oh
Rip
man.
Hugo Weaving. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Hugo, we want you to come back some way.
He seems kind of lonely on that
Well,
planet.
from
Don't
what-
you think?
Well, the thing with Hugo is that he stopped wanting to do big titles. Essentially, I forget what it was exactly, but like the reason he stopped, you haven't seen anything from him in years, is he basically said, I'm done, just doing whatever movies.
I'm retiring, Mr. Anderson.
It's like he's not really retiring though. He's just
Either he
retiring
wants.
as much as he wants to.
He's Hugo
Essentially,
Weaving. We can play
Exactly.
with him. We can
He's-
play with him on Lord of the Rings Conquest, which we're gonna do at some point.
Yes,
today. I'm
we
just
are.
letting you know.
Yeah, we
Oh.
have plans, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of which, I want to put a shout out to somebody real quick. He may or may not watch this. I don't know yet. Malachi Smith, we want to get you on this podcast
Yes,
to
yes.
specifically talk about the Batman casting.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I want to hold off on that one to see if we can work
Alright.
something out.
I dig it.
We miss you, buddy. We would love to have you. It's good to see you on Facebook and stuff like that.
I have not seen you in so long.
Yeah, dude, it's been a while. Yeah, man,
it's been
it's been a
too
while
long.
for us all. So, shout out to Malachi Smith. You're a good dude, and we would love to have
Yes,
you on
yes,
sometime.
you are.
I raise a bottle of LeBlue to you.
To Malachi.
Clink to Malachi.
He's not dead.
He's not- he's not. I'm glad you said that.
Just to clarify, y'all.
He's not- Oh, okay.
Okay. So now that we've raised our the blues and all of that, let's see here. What haven't we talked about? We haven't talked about Black Widow much.
Yeah.
I,
Sorry, that was so funny. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's not dead, by the way. Oh, that was great.
Oh man. No, I'm very curious. Let's see here. I think you said that was one of the movies.
Yes, Black Widow is a movie.
And it's been talked about for a long time. I think similar to... Oh, that's the one I missed. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about that yet. Because something that wasn't said on here...
Talenti Gelato.
Yes, that.
Sorry. There's
Um,
ads all over.
That Blade is coming.
Yes.
And I am very excited about
Mahershala
Blade.
Ali, who
Yes.
is a fabulous...
I am so excited for that. I actually...
That man, I don't know much about Blade, but I'm telling you what, Mahershala Ali has impressed me in every single movie I've ever seen him in.
Okay. I've not really gotten to see him much, but...
probably one of the best movies recently that he was in is Green Book.
okay.
With Viggo Mortensen, our man from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll
Isn't
see it
he,
just for him.
I never got to watch Alita Battle Angel, but isn't he like in that? Isn't he?
I think he was. He was also in Moonlight, which won Best Picture in 2016 Oscars.
Mhm.
The whole controversy was because La La Land was accidentally announced, and then it was like,
That's
oh wait, it's
right.
Moonlight, and
That's right.
everybody from La La Land was already on stage. So, yeah, he is I haven't seen Moonlight, but I saw Green Book. He is a phenomenal actor, and he has a lot of range too. He can be a gentleman.
Mm.
He can also be really tough.
And I like because like the thing with Blade is that it's one of those where I mean, they're certainly not going to go like the Blade movies that came out. I guess what was that 90s, late 90s,
Early 2000s,
early
I think.
2000s. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I've never seen
I
it,
watched, so I have not seen the second one. I watched the first one actually a few months ago for the first time, just never seen it before. And it is just, it's very unique character. He's just everything about it. I mean, he's like a vampire sword wielding dude.
That's why
And,
I'm
like,
interested. I didn't know was he a Marvel character?
Yeah, I forgot he was Marvel.
Okay, I didn't even know
apparently-
he was Marvel. I thought
yeah,
it was
like,
just some
I
independent.
forgot that was his origin, or maybe I'm not remembering right, and there's reasons that I don't know. Anyways, I'm interested because like I'm curious how they're gonna go with him, because he's also he traditionally is a little bit more of one of the heroes that goes on the R side. Of
kind of like the Punisher. More kind of like
You
that
would put
way?
him more in the Punisher, Deadpool.
Punisher, Deadpool.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
Spawn's even harder than them, but I tend to group him more in that category.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm curious how they're going to implement him. Because if he's going to be with the MCU at large, then he will not. I mean, it's practically guaranteed he's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
But he could still have that harder edge to him, or I don't know. There's just a lot of ways they can go, and clearly, from what you said, and for the little bit I've seen of him, good casting, and it's just a more of out of left field choice as well. The fact they were able to grab it and start doing that.
And I think that's the thing to look forward to the most is all of these films, and these aren't the only things announced for Phase 4. These movies run maybe into early 2022 that we've just
Yes.
announced. 2022, late 2022, early 2023, probably on in 24 and 25. This will, I'm pretty sure, eventually build up to another Endgame-esque kind of
Oh,
movie.
for sure. There's no way it's
It's
not.
been rumored that like the next kind of Avengers series, if that's what it's going to call, we're going to call it that for now. It probably won't be the Avengers, but the next series like that where heroes come together to stop a giant threat.
Hmm.
I've heard rumors that that threat is going to be Galactus.
A lot of people are saying that solely on the fact of, well, Thanos is done. Who's next?
Who's the next
And so it's
big
like
bad boy?
you
that
got
could,
Galactus.
Yeah,
I would love to see Silver Surfer action.
Dormammu.
Um,
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Dormammu. I saw. Okay, there's this
I'm
video
here to
on
bargain.
YouTube. There's this
Anyway.
amazing video on YouTube that was Doctor Strange is here to bargain, but it's actually the full amount of time he's here to bargain, because he says like in the movie, I feel like he says it took him like certain thousand amount of tries or something like that,
Yeah.
and so somebody like ran the clip and like looped it so that it was just hours of him being like, Dormammu, I'm here to bargain. And it just keeps going and
Oh my
keeps
God,
going.
That's
And,
fabulous.
and then finally the very last one is the him being tired of it. And it was just amazing because you get the actual span of like,
Yeah.
this would be the most annoying
It's like
thing.
10 hours. It's got to be 10
Oh, yeah.
hours.
Oh,
or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
That's like the limit. The longest video you can put on, I think, on YouTube is.
Yeah, so it's probably like just the 10-hour limit. I don't know, but like it was pretty great. It's not like I actually
love the
watched the
internet.
whole thing, but
I was gonna say, did you sit there for 10 hours?
fascinating
At
movie.
the end, finally
Oh.
go. "Ha!" Like it's like I was concerned for a second.
What a bargainer!
I know. I just want to
Take
say,
him
man,
to the flea
look
market.
at our shirts right now and how much is going on the
We
screen.
are the dotted crew.
You got some dots. I got,
You got the
flamingos going on
Ooh,
over here.
Yeah, you do.
This is a lot, man, right here.
I
but,
like it. We're
um,
popping.
you know, it will be a lot, Joseph, is what Marvel's coming out.
I was like, no,
wanted
I have
to-
no
I wanted
idea.
to pause awkwardly just to
I
see
liked
what
it.
you would do.
It was.
'Cause
I
your
was
face-
just gonna
you
hold
went-
on
you
to
went-
it.
That's very so subtly just
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Keep going if you can. But yeah, definitely a lot of stuff to be excited about coming out with Marvel. Have no idea which way they're going for it. But then
And-
again, looking back at Phase 4 and how Endgame came
Phase
about.
3.
Phase 3.
Yeah, looking forward to Phase 4.
Rewind that. Looking back at Phase 3 and seeing how it ended with Endgame and just looking, nobody could have guessed all of this was going to happen when Iron Man came out in 2008.
Man.
So we do not know what's going to happen whenever the first movie, the first one's slated for, I don't think we're seeing anything earlier than like March or May of 2020.
Yeah.
We have no idea what Marvel has planned, but I got to tell you, they have my interest, they have my viewership, they'll have my movie tickets whenever these come out. So
And the biggest thing
excited.
for me is that it seems like they are pulling in a lot of things. And I think that is going to be their strength. That they can really get expansive now. And that's honestly what's, not to say I wouldn't be interested, But what's keeping my interest is that they're pulling in, they say they're pulling in Blade, they're pulling in talks of multiverse, they're pulling in these, they're going to TV shows now that they've not officially killed all of the Netflix shows. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
let's have our more Marvel centric shows again.
I think these will be a lot better than the shows they've put out because I mean, like,
and I've heard great things about. Punisher got like almost universal praise. Daredevil similar. Some of the other ones mixed, but the main thing was that it would never. These even Agents of Shield, which fits the Marvel universe, are never going to tie into the canon at large. As much as you would want them to, they're never going to.
And I think these new shows will be a bigger expanse, more so, of the
And
canon
these new
instead of
shows-
an add-on.
These new shows will, I feel like, especially given they're about characters we know,
Yeah,
they're going to actually connect to the movies and not just in a hi movies.
Well,
We're
'cause
in the same universe, but in like a connect
Yeah,
to the canon
and
at
you
large.
can assume that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be obviously post Captain America
Right.
times. It'll be Bucky and Sam going out and doing crud together, which it's funny to see how their relationship kind of too, not to
Yeah.
go on another tangent, but their relationship changed from Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They both were Steve's easily, aside from maybe his dynamic relationship with Iron Man, Steve's closest friends
right
were
left hands. Yeah.
yes, Sam and Bucky, and it's interesting to see now with Captain America kind of handing over his torch to Sam, but to both of them as well,
Uh-huh.
to make the world a better place, just like he did. It'll be interesting to see that dynamic between the two because I like it.
Yeah.
You could see their closeness, especially at the end of Endgame, and I thought it was just one of the many parts I liked, but I thought it was cool because we hadn't seen that before.
No, so I'm very excited for that as well.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, that's
about it.
I think that's a good wrapping point there. Trying to experimenting with maybe a little shorter, keep it about half hour. I think it's a good length for a podcast.
I think it's a very good length. I think it's easier to watch. So we apologize for anything that we've put out in the past that's been over an hour.
I don't.
Joseph doesn't care. But yeah, that wraps up this episode of the Jake J podcast, and we'll see you next time, everybody.
Stay beautiful.